name is Alex Kay. I'm here to teach you how to use the kettlebell safely and effectively. Now, if you're not familiar with using a kettlebell, this is a great video to start because I'm going to show you how to perform some exercises that you are probably already familiar with, and you can do those same exercises with the kettlebell. So even if you don't know how to use the kettlebell correctly in terms of kettlebell specific exercises, you can still use it just as a tool as you would a dumbbell and perform some simple and straightforward exercises. So the first one I'm going to show you is going to be the single arm row. Right foot next to the kettlebell, left leg out to the back, right forearm onto my leg. Take the kettlebell handle, nice flat back, pull, down, pull, control down. So you can perform it in a controlled fashion. You can perform it with a pause at the top and control it down, or you can even move more dynamically where you're pulling it like you're starting a lawnmower, but of course you want to catch it and control it on the way back down because you don't want to damage the floor or anything else. After you've done your reps on one side, or if you want to alternate, just switch your stance, same position, pull on the other side. So you can do however many reps on one side, switch, or you can just constantly switch position with each repetition. You can also take more of a sumo or a gorilla stance. Place the kettlebell in the middle between your feet. Again, try to keep a nice flat back. Pull, put down, switch, pull, put down, and switch. Simple, straightforward exercise that you can do with the kettlebell, even if you're not familiar with kettlebell specific exercises. The next one we'll move on to is the squat. Now, this is not going to be an in-depth tutorial on these exercises, but rather me just demonstrating some basic movements that hopefully you'll be able to do. So a simple squat. With the kettlebell, a number of different ways that I can hold this. Grab onto the horns, kind of clamp my forearms onto the bell, squat down, elbows come inside my legs, and back up. I can also turn the kettlebell upside down, same grip, same elbow position. I can even place the handle between my wrists, put my hands on the ball of the kettlebell, and again squat, right? There is another one where the kettlebell is in the rack position. We'll get to that later. Which you'll see people who are more familiar with kettlebells probably performing that variation. Another very good exercise for the upper body is going to be some bicep, tricep, and shoulder exercises. For the bicep, I'm going to grab onto the horns in a hammer grip position and just perform my stock standard bicep curls. Now I can do it here, or I can use what's known as a crush grip, where I put my thumbs through the horns, my hands grip onto the round part or the bell of the kettlebell, and now it is a crush grip because I'm having to squeeze a little bit harder to hold on to that kettlebell. Okay? So those are two versions of a bicep curl. From this position, I've also got an overhead press as a shoulder exercise. Both hands on the bell. I'm using that crush grip, thumbs through the horns, hands on the bell, overhead press. From here, in this overhead position, I want to lower the kettlebell down, and now I can exercise my triceps. Now I can combine all three of these exercises and curl, press, extension, and back. So biceps, shoulders, triceps. I can even go one step further and combine the exercise with the squat. Squat, uncurl at the bottom, perform the curl at the bottom of the squat, straight up into the press, down behind my head, back to the chest. Squat, curl, press, tricep extension. Now there's a version of this that I prefer. I like to perform the bicep curl in a slightly dynamic fashion. I'm going to catch the horns as I drop the kettlebell down in that bicep curl. As I pull it up, I'm going to catch the kettlebell in that crush grip. So, horns, bell, horns, bell. It's a little bit more dynamic and it gives me the best options for grip. I prefer the horn grip for the bicep curl. I prefer the crush grip for the overhead and especially for that tricep. So horns, bell, horns, bell. So there you have a few exercises that you can start where you can use the kettlebell even if you're unfamiliar with this incredible tool. If you stay tuned, check out some of my other videos. I'm going to move on from this point and start teaching you other exercises, some fun and funky ways that you can use the kettlebell, even again if you're not proficient with using the kettlebell. And then from there we'll move on to some more proficient exercises. See you next time.